good? Are we great? All right, lovely. All right, what's up, everybody? I'm Corn. Welcome back to my channel. Lovely to see ya. Let's get into it. Kenya Moore. Actually, like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Great. Lovely. Now, Kenya Moore. I hear you talking. Be quiet. Be quiet. Hey, shut your mouth. Now, okay, now that we got those lips closed, listen to me, babe. Be quiet. There is a saying that I'm not going to remember right now, but I'm going to try to say it in a way that makes sense. People who observe, damn, I can't remember the damn saying. I want to sound real smart for 1 second. Either way, Kenya, sit down and shut the fuck up and be quiet, please. You are not doing yourself any favors by continuing to talk, arguing with Portia online, clapping back at people, reposting shady memes about Cynthia, which some of that I kind of agree with, and doing all of these things that just really does not do you any favors. I'm starting to believe that production was doing you a favor by not allowing you to do confessionals this season, because they knew by you saying anything, it was going to dig you a hole deeper than you can get out of. And in the court of public opinion, baby, it is best for you to stay silent. Anything that you say can and will be used against you in the court of public opinion. You know that. You have been in this game for 12, 13 years now, and you understand the way that this works. Why are you making so many rookie mistakes? I just watched this interview today with Britt on Housewives recap, or one of them damn shows on E or something. Maybe it's YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, mama is, when I tell you Miss Britt is eating the victim role. She is playing it so smart. She's been silent all this time. She really hasn't said nothing. I don't believe the girl has a Twitter. If she does, I haven't seen anybody tag her, so she's doing a great job at keeping that low key. On her Instagram, she said a little something here and there, but like keeping it very cute, very light, very ominous, and just kind of looking forward. She hasn't said too much of anything. She hasn't done any interviews. She isn't talking to anybody. However, and up until now, that really hasn't been working in her favor, but right now it is propelling her past you, because you're allowing this case to be built up against you by continuing to talk when nobody is talking to you. Let the fans do the work for you. The fans have already been on your side, and I think the episode last week kind of split that decision, kind of split the fandom a little bit. However, the majority of us still feel like you deserve your job. And I think that I don't know, I'm not an exec. It may be, just above all of us now. However, it would just do you a great deal of good to shut the fuck up. Britt, I watched the interview with Britt. When I tell you, she came out there in a blazer, a white shirt, her hair freshly pressed, makeup beat. She looks all conservative and, the victim or whatever. She really got her titties all out. She's just soaking in the victim role, because now everybody done seen a lot of that pulls at people's heartstrings when you expose somebody at their most vulnerable moment. You have to be careful with doing shit like that, because it will not always end up on it won't look good on you either way. And the fact that Kenya didn't think about that is just, it baffles me. Either way, Britt is eating up the victim role. And even in her statement, she's still offering Kenya some room for forgiveness. She's like, I could forgive her if Kenya would humble herself and come to me, woman to woman, and apologize and give me a thoughtful, real apology. And Kenya, she's not wrong. She's not wrong. You did do something to her that embarrassed the dog shit out of her, and you owe that girl an apology. Whether you feel justified in what you did or not, you have already admitted that you were wrong. So if you are going to admit that you were wrong, now you have to stand by that, and you also have to prove it to this girl if you want your job. If you don't give a fuck about it, which I don't think that you don't care about this job, if you care about keeping your job, you need to humble thyself and offer this girl a real apology. You need to be quiet. You need to stop beefing with Portia, because Portia's on your side. Now, you can never really tell with Portia. Portia's a slimy something or something. So you can't really tell with Portia what she really doing. But you need to lay off of her, let her do whatever she's doing, because to the public, it seems like she has your back. So you beefing with her in the public or calling her a liar or whatever, let the girl talk. Let the girl talk. Honestly, what she is doing is giving you a reason to come back to the reunion, because if Portia's saying that one of the housewives who is still working gave you those photos, then that gives you a reason to come back to the reunion and explain if that is true or if it's not. Now, of course, they could do it without you, but I think it would be better with you there. And Britt has already humbled herself enough to be like, we could work it out. We could work it out. And we all want to see you win, Kenya. But this is your problem. You never know. Like, I love Kenya, and Kenya is my number one favorite housewife of all time across all cities. I'm watching OG New York now. Baby, Kenya got a little run for her money, because Bethany, that is a housewife. That is a housewife. She is so good at being a housewife. But either way, Kenya Moore is my favorite housewife. And what Kenya has always been good at doing is talking her way in and out of accountability. She's never really had to, and what I will say is that Kenya will, when she is dead ass wrong, she will apologize. She will apologize for her part in whatever she did, but she will also let you know where you fucked up. So, and for her to be a pageant queen, the way that she is moving today, it just doesn't, knowing how to navigate a conversation and how to answer and respond to things is a skill set for a pageant queen, and not just a pageant queen. Like, you wasn't some run-of-the-mill, Candace or Ashley pageant girl. You were Miss USA, the second Black woman to ever win the title of Miss USA. That skill set should be helping you here. Be the fuck quiet. Shh. If anybody in Kenya's camp sees this, please tell her that the fans who love her are begging her to shut the up. Because we all want to see you back. We want to see the conversation between you and Britt. We want to see how y'all are able to mend that and build a bridge forward. We want to see the conversation between you and Cynthia. Let's get to Cynthia. Okay. The conversation online is very split between whether people think that people think that Cynthia was right for calling Kenya out in the moment versus the people who don't. I am somewhere in the middle, and here's why. I think that Cynthia has a heart of gold, and she sees the best in Kenya, and she was disappointed with how she reacted. And honestly, I think everybody was in the moment. Even the girls who were there at the dinner, at the bank, they were all disappointed in the way that Kenya retaliated, even though they all heard this lady talking about pistols and whips and chains and whatever else, Also, Portia, shut up talking about Britt was talking about the whip, like her car. No, she said I have whips and pistols. Both of those in context means weapons. I'm black. I understand whip versus whip. Don't play on our intelligence, girl. Anyway, um, the thing with Cynthia is she sees the best in Kenya, and she knew how important that moment was for her, and she did not want to see it all come crashing down the way that it did. So she spoke up in the moment. I do I the reason why I say I'm in the middle is because I understand her intention. However, I am not the friend who is going to tell you in the heat of the moment that you are wrong. Now, if it is something that you are doing that I feel like is self-harm or something like that, like obviously, like there are limits to what I'm saying here. This is not a blanket statement. There are nuances. Get into it. I'm going to, if you are into it with somebody, let's make it very specific. If you into it with somebody and you do some shit or say some shit that I think is low as hell, in the moment, I'm gonna be like, ooh, child, that is my friend. So I'm gonna just sit here and shut up. But afterwards, after the heat has cooled and after we are away from cameras, I will address you. I will tell you, hey, look, this was not right and it's not going to look good for you. It's not, especially if we're on camera. If I'm on a reality TV show, I understand that you want to say in the moment how you feel because that's what you get paid to do. However, when you develop a real friendship with somebody, I do think that there are and lines in the sand have been drawn. You got to know which side of the sand that you're going to be on. So I would not address my friend in the heat of the moment. I'm going to be like, ooh, Kenya, girl, I don't know about that, bitch. But I'm not going to tell you that, I'm disappointed in how you behaved or whatever, because Kenya can feel all of that. You can read it on Kenya's face that she knew she fucked up when everybody exited the building. And then she got her one friend hanging on by her side and she's like, Kenya, I love you, but this is wrong. I don't need you to say that right now. I already feel it. Call me later. Call me later. So I am on Kenya's side with that, but I do think the way that she is punishing Cynthia is not helping her case at all either, because it comes off like, okay, well, you can't be honest with Kenya. She wants yes men. She wants people to support her in her bullshit. And I think that if Cynthia's friendship meant anything to Kenya, she would have called Cynthia or responded to any of her various texts and calls and told her, like, I appreciate what you said and I hear what you said and I'm also disappointed in myself. However, I think in the moment, I really would have preferred you to choose our friendship over your job. That's it. And then y'all go to lunch, have a drink, and y'all say, yes, honey, child, ooh, God. And then, skedaddle along. But, yeah, so I'm on Kenya's side, kinda, and I'm on Cynthia's side, kinda. But I think at the end of the day, I would have been the friend that would have waited until the cameras left and the heat died down to address my friend about how I was disappointed in their behavior. And I would expect my friend to do the exact same thing for me. I was just in a situation like that where I was Kenya. I didn't go that far. However, after everything was all said and done, my friends came back to me later that day or that night, or actually in a car ride home, and was like, you did too much. You need to calm down. And I reflected on it. I took it in. I embraced everything that was said. And, I have apologies to make. And I'm going to do that because I'm big and grown. And hopefully Kenya can put on her big girl panties and apologize to the women who deserve apologies and build a bridge and move forward. But this is Kenya Moore, and you know, one of her specialties is victim. So I don't know how this is gonna go. However, I just want her to be quiet, and I think we all do. And Kenya, if you're watching, you're not. But if anybody from Kenya's camp is watching, tell her that we love her and we just want her back on our screens, and we want her to shut the fuck up so it can happen, you know? And we want her to do the right thing and apologize to that lady. So even if it's fake, girl, it's fine. It's fine. You an actress. What was that movie called? Menage a Trois, something like that, child. Get in your acting bag, give that lady an apology that feels real to her, and walk away and try to build a bridge to go forward. That's all we want, child. But anyway, that was all I got to say on this. Love y'all. Toodles. Kenya.